people talk about legendary machines in agriculture, one name always rises to the top: the Big Bud 16V-747. This tractor isn't just a piece of equipment, it's a mechanical milestone. Built in 1977 by the Northern Manufacturing Company in Havre, Montana, the Big Bud 747 still holds the title of the largest farm tractor ever made. It was custom built for the Rossi brothers, a large-scale cotton farming operation in California, who needed a machine capable of handling some of the heaviest and widest tillage equipment available at the time. What they got was a one-of-a-kind beast that remains unmatched in size and horsepower more than 4 decades later. Standing over 14 feet tall, stretching 27 feet long, and weighing in at more than 135,000 pounds when fully loaded, the Big Bud 747 is not just a tractor. It's a monument to what's possible when raw engineering meets serious agricultural demands. Powering this giant is a Detroit diesel 16V-992T engine, an incredible 16-cylinder V-configured powerhouse that originally produced 760 horsepower. That number was later bumped up to over 1,100 horsepower after an upgrade, making it even more capable of handling extreme workloads. The tractor is equipped with a twin-disc torque converter and an Allison 4-speed transmission, giving it the torque and control needed for pulling equipment that can reach up to 80 feet in width. In terms of fuel, this machine carries over 1,000 gallons of diesel, which sounds like overkill until you realize that it needs every drop when working large-scale fields for hours on end. The Big Bud wasn't just big for the sake of being big, it was built to work, to cover more ground with fewer passes, saving both time and operational cost for farms that operate on a massive scale. The most iconic visual feature of the Big Bud 747 has to be its tires, custom Goodyear LSW 1400 30R46s, each standing about 8 feet tall. These were specially designed to carry the enormous weight and to provide maximum traction without damaging soil structure, which is crucial for effective farming. In recent years, Titan Tire actually remanufactured these colossal tires when the original ones wore out, which was a big deal considering how rare that size and spec are. Even standing beside one of these tires makes you feel miniature. This is the kind of machine that transforms perception. It makes even full-size trucks look like toys. Despite its massive scale, the Big Bud 747 is surprisingly simple in its layout. There's no touchscreen interface, no computer diagnostics, no GPS tracking. What you get is an entirely analog experience. Everything is mechanical, and everything is designed to be accessible and repairable. That simplicity is part of what makes it so impressive and long-lasting. It's not relying on software updates or electronic sensors that can fail in extreme weather. Instead, it's made of industrial-grade components, often sourced from the mining and heavy construction industries, built to last for decades. You could say the Big Bud is part tractor, part locomotive. After working for several years in California, the Big Bud was sold and eventually retired, temporarily. In the late 1990s, it was discovered and brought back to life by the Williams brothers, a farming family in Montana who restored the tractor to working condition and put it back to work on their fields. They use it primarily for deep tillage, attaching it to a custom-built 80-foot cultivator that complements its raw pulling power. Even in modern times, the Big Bud continues to perform. That's the incredible part. This isn't a machine that's been relegated to museum status. It's not a relic in storage. It's a fully functional workhorse that still contributes to agricultural productivity. The Williams brothers have maintained it with a combination of original parts and modern adaptations, making sure it stays true to its roots while remaining viable in today's farming landscape. Public interest in the Big Bud 747 has remained strong throughout the years. It has been featured at numerous agricultural expos, trade shows, and even museum events. Each time it appears, it draws a crowd. It's not just the size that grabs attention, it's the story. People are fascinated by the fact that this kind of machine was even possible in the 1970s, and that it was designed and built not by a massive global corporation, but by a small company responding to a specific need. That level of craftsmanship and customization is nearly unheard of today. Most farming equipment is built at scale for broad appeal, but the Big Bud was built for purpose, for performance, and for power. The story of the Big Bud 747 also taps into a deeper sense of nostalgia and pride. It represents an era of American manufacturing that valued strength and scale over minimalism and efficiency. Back then, you could pick up the phone, talk to the engineers, and literally ask for a machine that no one else had. That kind of custom, purpose-driven design isn't just rare, it's practically extinct in today's world of mass production. And that's part of the magic. The Big Bud isn't just a tool, it's a custom masterpiece, one that reflects the spirit of innovation, risk-taking, and grit that defines so much of American agricultural history. Today, the Big Bud continues to live on not just in the field but in popular culture. It's been featured in books, documentaries, and video games like Farming Simulator, where players can test drive a virtual version of this iconic machine. It's got a loyal fan base, with some enthusiasts even creating scaled-down replicas or models to honor its legacy. In an age where machines are getting smarter, more efficient, and often smaller, the Big Bud 747 stands defiantly as a symbol of brute force and lasting value. It's not concerned with trends. It was built to dominate, and it still does. So is the Big Bud 747 still relevant in 2025? Absolutely. While it's not practical for every farming operation, especially smaller farms, it remains a perfect example of when engineering meets a real-world need and solves it with overwhelming capability. Even if no one ever builds another one like it again, the Big Bud 747 has already made its mark. It has shown us that sometimes bigger really is better, and that with the right vision, the impossible becomes reality. For machinery fans, farming professionals, and anyone who loves stories of mechanical triumph, the Big Bud isn't just history. It's still alive, still working, and still proving its worth every time it fires up that monstrous engine.